So no one could come to Mexico City without seeing at least some of the museums that are on offer here, and it is reputed to be the city with the most museums in the world. Now, whether that's true or not, it doesn't really matter, because I guarantee you there is no way you're going to get to see them all in the time that you have here. So what I would do if I was planning my trip is I would think about my interests, my likes, I would look at what's on offer, the time I have, and I would plan my itinerary around that. Now, what I would say is that you do not miss the world famous Museum of Anthropology. It's an education in itself, you might need a whole day for it. The Templo Mayor, which talks about the Aztec foundations of the city. There's some beautiful artifacts on show there. And then I would look at all the other ones, whatever I'm interested in. There's endless amounts of photography, art, whatever you can think of. Right now I'm in the terrace of the Museo de Estanquillo in the heart of the historic centre, as you can see behind me. So let's go see what they have on offer. So here in the Estanquillo Museum, you're going to find the personal collection of Carlos Monsiváis. He was one of Mexico's most prestigious journalists, well known for his humorous, often ironic take on Mexican society. And here you're going to find all sorts of caricatures, illustrations, photos that kind of show a little bit about Mexican customs, culture, society from the 1920s right through to the 1940s. Personally, I love getting the Mexican take on World War II through the illustrations. It has a gorgeous terrace. It's free in, so there's really no excuse to miss it if you're in the historic centre. So I'm here in the Colegio San Ildefonso in downtown Mexico City, and this gorgeous 16th century colonial building is said to be the birthplace of the Mexican muralism movement. And while you're here, you can check out murals by Diego Rivera, Orozco, Siqueiros, among others. They also house temporary exhibitions, so if you're going to come to the city, just have a little look at their website, and you never know what you might be able to see while you're here. So I'm here in Mexico City's newest museum, the Museo Sumaya, built by Carlos Slim, you may know as the world's richest man, in honour of his wife with the same name, Sumaya. And in this museum, as if the outside isn't enough, it's like a big, impressive wave structure covered in shimmering fish scales, is how I would describe it. The inside is even more exquisite. You're going to find more than 66,000 pieces, the most important collection of Rodin outside of France, as well as various sculptures by Dali, temporary exhibitions. So entrance is free, so this is definitely on Chloe's This Is Not to Be Missed list. So if you want to find out some more about Mexican art, then you need to come to the National Museum of Art in the Historic Centre, where you'll find Mexican works from the 16th century right through to the 20th century. And most importantly, here you'll find the biggest collection of José María Velasco, the Mexican artist. The whole building itself, like a lot of museums in Mexico, the buildings are sometimes just worth a visit on their own. It's this beautiful, elegant and imposing building, built in an eclectic style, so you'll find notes of Italian, French architecture as you wander around. And one tip I have is when you're coming up the beautiful staircase, make sure to look up, because the ceilings are painted with the most gorgeous frescoes, and I think they're perfect for selfies. So that's what I'm off to do now. So I finally made it to the world famous Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. I'm really, really excited, because this is the place that you want to come to if you want to see all the artifacts that they've removed from various excavations, from pyramids all over the country. The kind of things that you only see in documentaries, this is where you're going to see them in real life. I'm also told that on the upper floor they have a display of all the traditions and customs of all the various regions of Mexico. So if you're only going to be in Mexico City, you won't miss out. You'll still get a feel for what the rest of the country is like. So let's go and have a look at these amazing artifacts in real life. So I've really, really enjoyed visiting the museums of Mexico City, and I'm sure, as you can tell by the amount of people behind me, it's easy to see why the Museum of Anthropology is a world-class museum. You would need more than a day to see everything that's in there, and as I mentioned at the beginning, there's so many museums in Mexico City, it's just impossible to see them all, especially if you're here in a limited amount of time. So I would say that you plan your itinerary before you even get here. Make out a list of what kind of things you're interested in, which museums you don't want to miss, and that way you'll save a little bit of time once you get here. But really, to get a proper understanding of Mexico, its people, its traditions, history, culture, I think museums are the best way to do that. So make sure to follow me on the blog, on Facebook, on all social media, and I'll put in the details of the museums I've visited. I'll leave it up to you to find out what other ones you'd like to see during your time here. But for now, that's goodbye from Mexico City Museums.